if you know older white male Australians, they can be very loud. They've got very loud voices. They're very confident. And I'm new at the job. I'm the only black person. I'm the only young person. I'm the only female. And, you know, just trying to put your point across sometimes, even just trying to make a contribution in a meeting can seem like such an effort. Hello everyone, my name is Kudzie Nicolle Mapiye and welcome. On this channel, I do videos about my life living here in Australia, and I also share different life lessons that I've learned along the way. And firstly, Happy New Year. Hope 2023 has been good to you. Welcome to all the new subscribers. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And I've noticed a few people commenting about wanting to know about racism in Australia, my experiences in Australia. So I thought I'll do this video to just share one of the experiences that I've had in this country. And this year I'll try and share many more of the experiences that I've had in Australia. And this one is about, like, you know, one of the bad things about being black in Australia, in my opinion. And so I've been in Australia for coming on to 15 years next month. Wow. Like, time has flown. Like, I don't know how it's been 15 years already, but yeah, I'm coming up to 15 years. And this thing still bothers me, guys. Like, I am still bothered by this almost every single day. And that's the fact that I'm almost always the only black person in whatever setting that I'm in. Like, at work, in my team, on the train, in the shopping mall, almost everywhere I go, I'm almost always the only black person around. And, you know, being a naturally shy person, I notice it more because I notice people's reactions usually when I walk into a room. And this is not like from being racist, but I find sometimes people are just, I don't know if it's fascination or it's just, I don't know, shock or interest in seeing a black person in places. Like, you walk into a restaurant and they're like, everyone's not black, there's no one black. And then you walk in and you do notice that sometimes, like, people like look at you like, it's like, oh, a black person. It's just always like, it's never ending. People have this interest in black people and even black kids. Like, people stare at my kids, people stare at me, and it's not like a rude, like, staring at you constantly. It's just like, you enter a place and they just kind of, like, you know, check you out. They just kind of look your way. And I noticed they might not do that for other people, like white Australians or, you know, races that are more common in Australia, like Asians, for example. So for me, that's something that's always been very uncomfortable for me. Like, I like to just go in a place and just blend into the environment and not have to, like, have people stare at me, or have sometimes people come up to me and say, what part of the world are you from? Like, sometimes it's okay, but sometimes you just want to have a little, like, private moment and you just don't want to stand out. I don't know if anyone else has this problem. Like, if you live in Australia and you're black, let me know in the comments. Do you ever feel like you're the only black person most of the times in the settings that you're in? And, you know, for me, I just feel like sometimes it just reminds me that I'm not in my country. Like, in Zimbabwe, I never used to notice, like, I was the only black person. Like, you get into a place, there's, like, you know, a few other black people. The majority of the people in that room are black. Like, you don't feel like you stand out as much. And I remember one of my experiences that I had at work when I first started working after uni. I remember I walked into this meeting room and we were having a meeting about something, and all the people around that table, there were about 12 people around the table. All of them were older, white, male Australians, and I was the only black young female at that table. Let me tell you what, that was a very intimidating experience for me, because if you know older white male Australians, they can be very loud. They've got very loud voices. They're very confident. And I'm new at the job. I'm the only black person. I'm the only young person. I'm the only female. And, you know, just trying to put your point across sometimes, even just trying to make a contribution in a meeting can seem like such an effort. Like, even if it's just like you want to say a sentence, even if you want to say, oh yeah, I agree with that point, or have you considered this? It can be such an effort, especially back then. Like, now I've got more experience. Like, I don't find that it's much of an effort for me. But just starting out, it was really hard for me to just be in a meeting room and feel comfortable to just be, like, to just be myself. I felt like, oh my gosh, I'm so different. Like, are my opinion's gonna be accepted? Like, I look different from these people, like, speak different from them. Like, I've got just different views. So it was, you know, something that was really challenging for me, like just being in that setting, especially in the workplace. And then in my team, I was the only, I was the youngest person. I was the only black person. So I was the only one in a lot of cases, the only black in a lot of cases. And I know in that workplace, like, it was probably months, like, of me working there before I saw another black person. And when I remember the first other black person I saw was this gentleman, this African gentleman from, black gentleman from South Africa. Guys, I felt like I saw my brother or a long lost cousin. Like, I just smiled and waved. Like, he was like, you know, just walking, like, we're not like very close to each other, but I like waved at him, I smiled, like, just that relief of meeting someone who looks like you. It's such a relief. And I think sometimes we take it for granted if we're in a country, like, with people who look like us. We take it for granted that, you know, we have people that look like us. And I'm starting to appreciate that more. Even when I walk to work, guys, you should see me when I walk to work. Like, I think sometimes people think I'm weird because I see a black person just walking in the city and I smile at them, like, and I feel like I need to wave, but I at least smile. Every black person I see, I acknowledge them somehow, because I know I don't come across them very often. And I'm feeling like maybe, you know, they also will be feeling that sense of relief to see someone else who looks like them. So even if they're a total stranger, I just smile and sometimes wave at other black people that I meet in the street or in a shop or something. Like, I remember just last week, I was shopping in this shop, like, in the city, and I saw one of the attendants that was in that shop was this black female lady. Guys, we saw each other from across the room and we just got it. Like, we just locked eyes and smiled at each other because we could understand the struggle. Like, oh my gosh, I haven't seen a single black person all day. Hi, how are you doing? Like, you want to hug that person. That's how it feels like me most of the times, like when I'm in settings and I'm the only person. And yeah, it's something that I really miss about being home in Zimbabwe. Like, just that sense of community, knowing there are other people who look like you, knowing that you're gonna walk into a place and people are not gonna be fascinated or, you know, interested or just stare or just wonder where you're from, or the first question people ask you is, where are you from? Like, I want people to have more interesting things to ask me. Like, you know, just ask me questions like you'd ask any other normal person. How's your day? How's it going? Like, you know what I mean? Not where you're from. It gets old. But, you know, that's my experience in Australia. And I've come to get used to it, but it's still something that I don't particularly enjoy. So if you are looking to move to Australia and you look like me skin-wise, be prepared to experience that you will be the only person that looks like this in a lot of settings. And trust me, it gets annoying, but it does have its benefits. Sometimes there are things about it that I do enjoy. Like, sometimes you just enjoy being different, like, you know, and especially like speaking a different language. When I'm on the train and I get a call, I don't have to be conscious that people are gonna overhear my conversation if it's private, I just switch to another language because I'm from another country. People won't understand what I'm saying, and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about, and people don't have to hear it. So that's one of the benefits that I do enjoy about, you know, being the only Black person in a lot of settings. But yeah, that's something to expect in Australia. But I must say, like, a lot of the people that I meet are not rude about it. Like when people do approach me and ask questions, you can genuinely feel that it's out of curiosity and not out of like judgment, like, oh, where are you from? It's like, oh, where are you from? Like, you know, I've never seen anyone like you before, or I'm curious to know which part of the world are you from? It's more from curiosity. So, you know, sometimes it can be a conversation starter. I mean, if you're an extroverted person, if you're a person who likes to connect with people, it might be a way to really get that in and get to know people and start conversations. If you're a shy person like me, it can be awkward, but hey, it is what it is. So yeah, that's one of the experiences I wanted to share with you about, you know, being Black in Australia and what to expect. Anyway, guys, I'll be sharing a lot more about my experiences. I'll see you in the next video. Have a wonderful day.